Welcome to another edition of Webchat with the Warden. I'm joined by Warden Mayberry. How are you today, sir?
Very good, thanks. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. How was your Easter?
Perfect.
Wonderful. I love to hear that. So we've got council coming up on Wednesday.
Yes.
I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about the S.W.E.A.R, the Safe Wind Energy for All Residents.
Okay, so there's a letter or a correspondence for the County Council to consider supporting a group of people who are opposing wind energy primarily in Huron County. And they're embroiled in a court battle, and so far they have not been successful. And they're wanting to take it to the next level, and they're looking for support. Oxford County doesn't have a policy on wind energy; they're for or against, and so I suspect Council will hear or will receive the request and decide whether they want to support this group.
Now, are they asking for financial support?
I think they're asking for financial support in any amount to pay their legal fees.
Okay, great. And also we've got several bylaws on for this week as well. Do you have anything that you could say about any of those?
Well, the one bylaw, of course, is the tax ratio bylaw, which is the purpose of the tax ratio bylaw is to set in motion what are the ratios, what are the rates that each class should pay. And the idea from the council is that each category, whether it be residential or institutional, business, industrial, each should pay their fair share of the tax load. And so the ratio is to make sure that each class pays their share of the cost.
Okay. And there's also the lower limit for applying tax to new construction. Is there anything that you can say on that?
No, that's it's sort of there again, trying to make sure that all of your rates are fair. The other report that might be interesting to people is the development charges report, the annual report there, and it's a way where we collect fees from people as they build houses or industry or whatever. And then you use that fees for very specific purposes. So last year we collected about $4.5 million in fees and a couple $100,000 in interest on those fees. And then that money is segregated to be used for wastewater, water, all that kind of infrastructure. Even libraries get a little bit. So last year, we collected $4.5 million for the purposes of development. We actually spent closer to $12 million. And a lot of that money was spent on water and sewers, about 11 million, I guess. We actually spent about 14, I guess. A couple of $1 million on road construction, and then we actually even spent $250,000 on libraries and improving our library facilities.
That's fantastic news. And do you hope for a repeat of that?
Well, it would be nice to collect another $4.5 million this year. The budget this year wouldn't be expecting that kind of contribution from development charges. I think our development charges now, that reserve is at about $6 million. If we collect another $4.5 million, it kind of, as projects come on, it kind of ebbs and flows a little bit, and that's why you have a reserve. It's simply to be able to collect up money, and then when you have a big project, be able to sort of pay part of it through the development charges reserve.
That's fantastic. All right, well, we'll look forward to council. Sounds like we have some exciting things in the works.
Well, it's actually a fairly short agenda, and sometimes really the role of council is just to sort of review what staff are proposing and to make sure that we're following all our own policies and that sort of stuff. And so this, I would say, this council meeting is probably one that's it's more, I don't want to say housekeeping, but you get sort of the drift that it's not so much a policy meeting, it's more of just making sure everything that's going on. And then afterwards we'll be, after the council meeting, we'll be having an emergency services sort of information session for councils to learn about what's happening in emergency services so that we can go back to our local councils and sort of help plan at the lower level.
Great, that sounds fantastic. Well, this has been another edition of Web Chat with the Warden. Thank you for joining me again.